Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are diving headfirst into a massive cultural obsession, apple cider vinegar. We're going to unpack the actual science, strip away all that internet noise, and figure out if this pungent little pantry staple is a genuine miracle or, just another wellness fad.
If you've spent any time online lately, you've definitely seen it. Influencers choking down these sour, honestly gag-inducing detox drinks first thing in the morning, claiming it's an absolute miracle superfood. But is it really? I mean, people are going to extreme lengths, literally plugging their noses to swallow this stuff for the promise of perfect health. So today, we're going to put on our investigator hats and separate fact from fiction, looking strictly at what the evidence tells us. No filters, no hype.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our structured investigative roadmap for today. First, what exactly is apple cider vinegar? Second, we'll break down the health claims. Third, we're looking at digestion, detox, and beauty. And finally, number 4, how to actually use it safely.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1. What is apple cider vinegar? To really get this, we need to ground ourselves in the basic chemistry. Apple cider vinegar is born through this really fascinating 3-part transformation. It starts out innocently enough, as your everyday sweet apple juice. But then, yeast is introduced. This yeast eats the natural sugars and converts them into alcohol. Then, specific bacteria step in and turn that alcohol into acetic acid. And that acetic acid, that is the primary active compound here. It's the exact culprit behind that incredibly sharp, pungent smell and that sour taste that makes you wince.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happens if you buy the raw, unfiltered version. You'll notice this murky, kind of stringy blob floating around inside the bottle. It looks a little bit like a sci-fi alien, right? But it's actually known as the mother. It's a completely natural, cloudy mixture of proteins, enzymes, and beneficial bacteria left over from the fermentation process. And this specific cloudy version is exactly what wellness enthusiasts swear by, believing those little floating strands hold the absolute maximum benefits for your health.
Moving right along to Section 2, breaking down the health claims.
The internet loves to heavily market apple cider vinegar as this overnight magic fat-burning potion, but let's look at the actual science, shall we? Studies suggest that the acetic acid may actually slow down how fast your stomach empties. So, because food stays in your stomach a bit longer, this increases your feelings of fullness, which can naturally help you eat fewer calories throughout the day. And that's pretty much the extent of it. It is definitely not a magic eraser for bad habits. It simply supports, but can absolutely never replace, balanced nutrition, daily movement, and quality sleep.
There is also some really promising, yet very nuanced data around blood sugar and digestion. Taking a diluted dose of apple cider vinegar right before a carbohydrate-heavy meal may actually help support a much healthier, more stable post-meal blood sugar response. Digestively speaking, the acid can stimulate your stomach, potentially easing that heavy, bloated feeling you get after eating. So the crucial point is that you have to pay attention to the caveats. Individual reactions vary wildly here. For some people, introducing that acid can trigger severe acid reflux, stomach irritation, or heartburn. And if you are managing diabetes or blood sugar conditions, you absolutely must talk to your doctor first. Vinegar should never, ever be used as a replacement for prescribed medication.
All right, on to Section 3, digestion, detox, and beauty.
Let's completely shatter the biggest myth out there right now, the detox myth. The internet boldly claims that apple cider vinegar magically flushes all the bad toxins from your body. Well, the scientific reality? You already have world-class, highly efficient built-in detox mechanisms, namely your liver and your kidneys. They work around the clock filtering your blood. Apple cider vinegar does not just swoop in and magically scrub your organs clean. The human body just doesn't work that way. So you might be wondering, why do people swear they feel detoxed after starting an apple cider vinegar routine? Well, context is everything. Usually when someone starts taking it, they simultaneously start drinking way more water, eating cleaner whole foods, and cutting out sugary sodas. They feel fantastic because they radically improve their entire lifestyle. But, human nature being what it is, they mistakenly give all the credit to the magical vinegar. And this brilliantly illustrates our next point. Using apple cider vinegar externally for beauty treatments is a massive double-edged sword. Because it's an asset, a heavily diluted rinse can successfully break down scalp buildup, add beautiful shine to hair, or act as an astringent to tone the skin.
But the risks of getting it wrong are very, very real. Applying it undiluted can cause chemical burns, severe irritation, and completely destroy your skin's natural protective acid mantle, leaving you super vulnerable to breakouts and damage. Stronger is definitely never better with this stuff.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, how to use it safely. If you actually want to test the potential fullness, digestion, or blood sugar benefits for yourself, the golden rule is always dilution. To drink it safely, mix just 1 to 2 teaspoons into a large glass of water. If you absolutely hate that sour taste, and I don't blame you, you can turn it into a soothing wellness tonic by adding honey, ginger, or maybe a dash of cinnamon. Or, better yet, simply hide it in your food. Whisk it together with olive oil, fresh herbs, and lemon juice for a vibrant salad dressing, or use it as a base for marinades and homemade sauces. Honestly, culinary use is by far the safest, easiest, and most delicious way to get it into your diet.
Now, whatever you do, absolutely avoid taking straight shots of apple cider vinegar. I know it's a massive trend on social media right now, but taking a shot of pure, unadulterated acid is just a terrible idea. It doesn't just taste horrific, it causes intense physical damage. It can literally permanently erode your tooth enamel, scorch and inflame your delicate throat tissue, and wreak total havoc on your stomach lining. Always dilute it.
If you do choose to drink it diluted in water, here is a fantastic pro tip to protect your smile. Drink it through a reusable straw. This bypasses your teeth almost entirely. And make sure to rinse your mouth out with plain water immediately afterward to wash away any lingering acid. It's a quick, simple step that goes a long way in preventing any potential enamel damage.
Let's move to and see how this builds to our final verdict. Apple cider vinegar is not a miracle cure. But it isn't completely a myth either. It offers some legitimate, science-backed support for increasing fullness and managing post-meal blood sugar when used safely and moderately. But remember, it can only ever be one small tool in your broader wellness toolbox, not the entire solution. True lasting wellness is always built on consistent movement, balanced whole foods, stress management, and good sleep.
Which leaves you with a choice to make. Knowing what the science actually says about its real limitations and its real potential, are you going to rely on quick fix internet hype? Or will you focus your energy on building sustainable?
Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are diving headfirst into a massive cultural obsession, apple cider vinegar. We're going to unpack the actual science, strip away all that internet noise, and figure